And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy, Cheap Ludes, and it is time to answer some questions. Now, the number one question I've been asked over the past few days, especially by people who are just now picking up the game and stuff, is it worth it to grind Domination? Like, at this point, or period, is it worth it to grind Domination? And my answer every single year is always the same. Like, back in the day, I would say 2K17, 2K18, like it was 100% worth it to go through Domination. That used to be the intro mode, that's where you came through and you played first to get your bearings. Look, at this point in 2K22, I really don't think it's worth grinding Domination. Like, I don't. The rewards themselves are solid, like Bob Pettit's pretty good. TJ Warren's really solid. Everything you're getting for grinding out the Domination is solid at this point. We're only a week into the game's lifespan. And that's part of the reason that I wanted to make this video in the first place, though. Because, once you get to historic, like, Richie Gurrent's alright, Jamal Wilkes looks pretty decent. But, like, is it worth going through 66 5-minute quarter games to get these rewards? Bob Cousy at the end, Draymond at the end of current. Now, I would say, like, especially if you already have part of it done, going for Draymond's not a terrible idea. Draymond will have some like longevity just based on the fact that he is a shooting forward, and those typically have at least a little bit of longevity to them. You know what I mean? Now, Bob Cousy is a tough one, and the reason I say that is because, look, they've already released 2 point guards in packs that are better than Bob Cousy. Already. I'm sure it's not going to be a popular opinion to say that Chris Paul from the primetime side is better than Bob Cousy, but he is. Like, he definitely is. Darren Williams absolutely is. I would even say that Ruby Damian Lillard is not far off. If he's not better, he's not far off. So I would say for that reason, especially if you're just picking up the game now, there's really no point to playing Domination at all. Like, I'm being serious. Your time would be better spent playing Triple Threat offline, Triple Threat the 100, draft mode, even going in and doing all those challenges, like spotlight challenges and stuff like that. Like, I feel like you'll be getting rewarded more for doing that than you will Domination at this point. Now, we don't know if there's going to be like a final Domination prize. There could be. So as time progresses, it's not a bad idea to get some of it done. By the way, do the limited warm-up challenge. It's annoying and it's kind of hard, but you do get a really good Dennis Smith Jr., who I swear is going to be useful for limited at some point. Look, getting an overpowered gold is never a bad idea. But yeah, I feel like you'd be better off just doing these challenges, especially the pickup challenge daily. Like, if you were going to log on and play 1 5-minute quarter game a day, you would get rewarded so much more in the long term by just coming in and doing those pickup challenges every day. Like, I'm not kidding. Because you're at least getting like a base league pack, which isn't great. It's not going to get you too much stuff, but you're at least going to be able to build up your collection, which will give you better collection rewards. And you can sell the stuff for MT. Like, I love Domination, and that's always been my favorite mode in my team. But the past few years, like, it's just not worth playing anymore. The last time I remember playing it where I actually used a reward card for a like pretty long period of time was 2K18. I think was the last time that I used that card for a little while. I think that was Steve Francis, because it was like a choice pack or whatever. That was the last time I used that card for any decent amount of time. Like 2K21, I don't even remember who the current Domination reward was. That's literally how little I used it. I don't think I actually used that card at all, ever. I know Blackman was the historic, and I know that, oh man, who was the final one? George Mikan. I never even got him. Just didn't care. I gave up after that. But like, legitimately, we've already seen 4 packable diamonds that are better than any card that you'll get from Domination. Like, significantly. I would even be willing to say Ray Allen is probably better than any of the cards that you'll get from Domination. I'm not suggesting that you go buy packs and stuff like that, but I'm saying working your grind in a more beneficial fashion that'll help you out later on is probably going to be better than going after Domination stuff. Like, because then you have to sit here and Evo all these cards too to get the rewards, and that's not fun. Granted, the Evos are significantly less time consuming than they have been the past 2 years, which I'm glad. Like, I'm glad 2K did that, because some of the Evos the past couple of years have been horrendous. I'm glad we haven't had to do like a crazy amount of steals or anything as of yet. So that's good. But like, Also, even if you win 30 domination games, and you get all this XP, that's cool, but you only get a badge pack. The audacity to only give us a bet. You couldn't have given us like a deluxe league pack or just anything that would be worth doing that. It's just painful, man. Diamond Luca is still pretty decent. I don't think it's worth spending a bunch of MT to lock in a base set for him. If you have one where you already have, like, for instance, like the amethyst and the rubies from that set, then it's probably worth it. You know what I mean? Because then it's only a few thousand to lock in. That's probably worth getting Luca. But tomorrow is Friday. We're going to get some more packs or something tomorrow. I'm not sure what they're going to be. We'll see if 2K starts teasing stuff on Twitter later. That'll be pretty interesting. They haven't done that as of, well, they did kind of do that, I guess, but they didn't really have to because everyone had the game on Thursday anyway, so it didn't really matter. But like a good example is Serge Ibaka, right? It's probably more beneficial to just grind tokens, right? Do what you got to do to get tokens and stuff. Like Serge Ibaka is arguably better than Draymond in and of itself, right? And he's 30 tokens and doesn't take, a ridiculous amount of hours to grind. I don't know what the actual, each game is roughly about 30 minutes, let's say. So like 15 hours per domination, let's just say. So like a 30-hour grind to get, that's just not worth it. 30 hours could be spent grinding tokens and you'd probably have more players than domination if we're being completely honest. So I would, if you want to play some domination and get your bearings in the game, like by all means, it'll definitely help out. I just feel like personally your time will be better spent playing the challenges as opposed to playing domination. Maybe that's just me who thinks that, but I literally think that's probably your best bet. Because some of the cheaper cards that you can buy on the auctions are going to be like more beneficial than some of the grindable domination guys. A bunch of the token market guys are. Like, you can get Devontae Graham at the Ruby token market level, and I'm not saying he's better than Bob Cousy. That's probably not the case, but he's very, very good, and you don't have to sit there and sink 60 hours into getting him. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, it's just painful. Like, I literally just, I don't know. I just feel like there's no point to domination at this point. Now, none of the agenda stuff has really yielded any high sellable cards as of yet. Like, even this one, like, score 20 points with base set Bucks players. Like, none of the Bucks players are really even up in value at this point. So, I have been paying attention to the agenda just to make sure, but I haven't really seen anything that would tell me otherwise. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, this card is expensive. I need to go sell this. Outside of the exchange. The exchange stuff are obviously always going to be expensive because people are going to want to do those exchanges because they do have some cool players in them. Granted, they're not the best, but you know what I mean? Oh, Larry Sanders. I didn't even see there was a gold Larry Sanders. Look, the one thing the base set has shown me, though, is the base set has kind of given us a preview of what players we're probably going to get. And I'm excited about a lot of the base set guys in that regard. Like, you know what I mean? Sam Jones is so good, by the way. But look, if you are wanting to go into domination, right? You want to do this, you want Draymond, you want Bob Cousy, whatever, but you don't want to spend a bunch of MT doing it. Let's look at like a pretty cheap lineup you can put together. Like right off the bat, token market point guards for sure would be your best bet. You can go Patty Mills or Seth Curry. Just kind of depends what you want to do. Devontae Graham is so fast. He's like so good in this game. He is incredible. Now this guy's a little more expensive, but I can't even tell you how good this guy is against the CPU. He makes so many whites. Sam Jones. He's like 8K. That's a little expensive. You can get away with running someone a lot cheaper, like even a free card like Jeremy Lamb or like Kobe or something, or even like Manu's pretty solid offensively, like, or even like Brian Winters if you get up there. Roberson at small forward for sure. He just plays such good defense, and steals are overpowered this year. So you can get a lot of fast break opportunities because of Roberson and his steal rating. Chris Boucher, you get him playing domination. He's a must-have. He's literally one of the best centers in this game. You can get away with running Dario Saric if you're up there in tokens. Michael Porter Jr. is, only like 1,200 MT, and he's really good. He's big. He doesn't really play defense, but he can shoot. So I run Seth Curry and Patty Mills off the bench. Like, that's my thing. I try to make this lineup as cheap as humanly possible. Like, this lineup is under 10K. For sure. Now, you could realistically use anyone. I'm just giving you guys like a template of who I'm using. As far as like the small forward, you could use anyone. It really doesn't matter. Like Derek Jones, Miles Bridges, the small forward position is really open. If you wanted to buy a player that will be effective like immediately, by the way, Kent Bazemore is really good, especially if you attempt to attack the rim a lot. He'd be good. But if you wanted to buy a card that was really cheap and effective, like Cade or Jalen Green is fine. Like both of those guys are just fine, and you can get them both for like 1,200 MT, so it would still keep the lineup under 10K. I personally would go with someone else, but if you wanted to run that, you could. As far as the center position, at power forward, if you have Jeff Green out of the collector level, definitely use him. He's super good. But Bagley is like literally 1,400 tops, and he's one of the best budget centers in the game. And post play being as good as it is, you could definitely run him. Now, at the power forward, if you have Dario Saric, he works. Miles Bridges is not terrible. He's all right. Okongwu I wouldn't use. I don't know. There's really like no person specifically you should grab here. It's just whoever you have that you're best with at the power forward. Small forward, power forward, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll probably use, I don't know, like Markkanen because I need to get some XP done or whatever. And he's relatively cheap too. So if you're someone who likes to shoot threes, like he'll work relatively well for you. But this is a pretty cheap lineup that you can put together for under like 10K. Markkanen will put it a little over 10K, so you could just use like Miles Bridges or anyone else. But this will definitely work out. Or you can drop Sam Jones and get a cheaper card if you really want to. It's kind of up to you. Either way, like I personally don't think Domination is worth it at this stage. I think you're better off grinding challenges, TTO, TT, anything else in the game. But let me know what you think down in the comments. As always, it has been your boy Cheap Ludes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.